Here at Baum-Walker Stadium in Fayetteville, Arkansas, as we get ready to wrap up this three-game series between Xavier and number 8 Arkansas. The fans are out there drinking the hot cocoa. We're seeing jackets, we're seeing hoodies, and we're seeing a pretty good series so far in this one as well, with a walk-off win for the Hogs yesterday. Welcome into the broadcast booth. I'm Sean Murren alongside Troy Eklund, and we're ready to wrap up this series, Troy. But yesterday you had to hold on to your hat, and it wasn't because of the wind.
Yeah, great 7 lead changes in that game yesterday. It all started with some pretty good pitching. Jack Noby for Xavier, Hunter Dietz, both of them had, I think Noby had 8 strikeouts in 4 innings. Dietz had 9, and then the ball really started flying around the park.
It really did. 5 home runs combined between the two teams. But you mentioned, Xavier, they had some pretty good hits yesterday, too.
They really did. John Stonehouse, the big hitter for Xavier, took one out, and then back-to-back, Landon Mensick takes one out. That tied the game in the bottom of the 7 at 6-all. But the player of the game was Camden Kojal. How about hitting for the cycle? First AB gets the home run. The second AB is what usually so hard to do. Hits for a triple right there. The wind really blew this ball away from Mensick, the left fielder. Got the triple, got the single in his 4th at-bat, and then he came through clutch with a double in that last inning, bottom of the 9th, Sean.
Yeah, from what he said yesterday in the postgame presser, it didn't really seem like he knew what was going on until he got there, and we could talk about that as things go on. But here's the series summary. 2 wins for Arkansas, both of them close games, though.
Yeah, this is a really good Xavier team, and one thing about it, Xavier's got their 1, 2, 3 hitters that are still injured. So, again, this team is going to be really tough to deal with later on in the season when those guys get healthy.
Well, and here we've got the starting pitcher, Colin Fisher, who's been successful in his Arkansas career so far, a junior, back on the bump for the Hogs.
Yeah, you can really tell. Colin Fisher hit the weight room, worked really hard at it, put about 10 to 15 pounds of muscle. He's going to sit in that low 90s with that fastball. Will throw an overhand curve and a changeup as well. But just one of those guys that just seems he's a kind of a contact pitcher, misses barrels. Yeah,
he's 9-1 over his Razorbacks career, 3.30 earned run average. This will be his 28th appearance, 14th start, and he's up against the Xavier lineup that has Landon Mensick in the cleanup spot. And first pitch of the day gets in for a called strike, and here we are off and running. It's 12:02, but it's 39 degrees and windy out there. That's why we're seeing all the hoodies and the long sleeves.
That's right. No, at least the wind is kind of from the north, so the stadium blocks it, so on the field it's not as bad.
Smashes that one to second base, but Kozol, he gets the first out of the game over there at second, so you can put the cycle on his credit yesterday. First one of his life, he said, and then he's got a pretty good catch there to start things off.
Yeah, I asked him about that. I said, you ever hit for the cycle this morning during BP? And he goes, maybe in a wiffle ball game.
Yeah.
I think we've all done that in a wiffle ball game.
Maybe. Some of those, yesterday you were talking about some of the pitching we saw looked like they were throwing wiffle balls out there. There were 24 combined strikeouts, I believe, in yesterday's game.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. Just guys missing barrels, and really for the pitchers to be able to do that in these cold temperatures is quite amazing. Sometimes you see the grip isn't quite that good.
It's a bouncer to short, but Brumbaugh has it and fires to first in time for the second out of the inning.
We think that's Brumbaugh out there at shortstop. You can't see his face. He's got the mask up. He's got glasses on.
He's got the hand warmer loop behind him.
Wearing number 1 is playing shortstop for Arkansas.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of those face masks out there trying to just, with the wind, I think that's really the issue because it's blowing out to right. But Troy, before the game we noticed it is shifting at times.
Yeah, it's kind of really blowing out to right, or maybe right now almost out to center field. And here's a guy that does not need any help from the wind is John Stonehouse.
Yeah, Josh Stonehouse is 357 this season, 4 home runs, including a big one yesterday.
Yeah, he's got light tower power, no doubt about it.
Fisher gets a swing and a miss right there. Good breaking ball against Stonehouse to put him in an 0-2 hole with 2 outs.
Fans might have wondered why Fisher kind of had a little bit of a delay. Well, Arkansas was moving T.J. Pompey, their third baseman, to the right side of second base to put the big shift on the big left-hander.
And he swings and misses at another breaking ball to close out the inning. 1, 2, 3 in order for Colin Fisher. The Hogs come to the plate when we get to the bottom half of the first. Jack Deteen, the sophomore, takes the mound for Xavier.
Yeah, see the 6'2", 185-pound right-hander. Deteen will keep that fastball in the upper 80s, low 90s. He might hit 92 with that fastball. We'll mix in a slider and a changeup as well. And looks like left-handers have really gotten to Deteen a lot better than the righties. So not uncommon when that breaking ball is coming into the left-hand hitter, but I think they're hitting 500 on this early season against Deteen.
Yeah, it didn't have love at first sight on Valentine's Day against ECU, unfortunately, for him. A 12-5 loss. He went 3 1/3, 6 runs, only 3 of them earned, though. That was on 5 hits. He's up against a Razorbacks offense led right now by Micah New out of the leadoff spot. First time he's going to the leadoff position this season.
Yeah, Arkansas doesn't have Damian Ruiz in that leadoff spot. Ruiz got taken out of the game about mid-game yesterday, had a little bit of tightness in a calf, and with the weather being the way it is and just kind of always that safety first mentality early on in the season, they weren't going to do anything to risk Ruiz getting injured.
Well, you've got New stepping up to the plate, and we talked a little bit about Ruiz right there, and it was a little bit puzzling. He was 1 for 3 at the time, I believe, when he came out of the game yesterday, and then we found out post-game that he had a little bit of a kind of discomfort in his calf, I think is a good way to put it. And so Dave Van Horn mentioned that they kind of pulled him out of the game for just as a precaution.
Arkansas is going to go with Zach Stewart in left field to replace Ruiz in this ball game.
The first one to Micah New, misses outside, and so the day for Deteen is underway, and was just mentioning about that Valentine's Day game. He only walked 1, but he didn't have any strikeouts. We mentioned that was a 12-5 game. How many home runs do you think ECU hit?
I'm going to say 4.
0.
Wow.
Ball popped up on the infield. Hammond coming in foul ground. Backpedals, and it drops in fair territory. Oh, no. The wind plays a role again.
Yeah, when that ball gets up above the stadium, it really has a big impact. The Musketeers have a different catcher catching today in Morton. Normally it's Fitz behind the plate. You can see off the bat, and I love that Micah New took off and he started running and did not stop. And then you had the third baseman, Hammond, try to come down and help out his catcher, and that wind just took it and really pushed it back into fair territory.
Every second on those balls that are backspun like that is so precious, and Morton looked into the sky. There was that moment of hesitation. Hammond had it off the bat, and he came in. But again, when that ball it's strange because when that ball gets popped up, it's actually moving back behind you towards fair play, and then the wind isn't going to help that either. So Souza steps in and takes a big swing and comes up empty on the first one, so it's an 0-1 count there.
Really pretty changeup right there by Deteen, and pulled the string on Souza. Nolan's job right here is to try to hit that ball to the right side, something hard, try to advance that runner.
Pitch misses outside that time.
You can see Deteen trying to throw against that, trying to paint that outside corner, make it a little harder for Souza to get that ball over to the right side. There's a big hole. You see this shortstop right there, Peters, playing right behind almost second base.
1-1, just got a piece and fouled it off himself, so Souza will hop around down there. It is strange because with Souza up as a left-hander, obviously the coverage responsibility at second base is going to go to Peters at short. Normally, though, you see that third baseman sort of shift to where Hammond is kind of operating out of right this moment. But he was pulled up and near the line there, and so like you mentioned, there was a huge gap on the left side.
Yeah, Souza can really run. He's one of the faster guys on the team. Big bodied left-hander, having a really good start to his season.
Deteen. This is high and outside. Souza lays off, and he's back even here at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Scoreless game, bottom half of the first. Sean Murner alongside Troy Eklund as close out this opening homestand of the season for the Razorbacks. They, of course, played on the road in neutral sites and things like that, but got home here on Friday. 2-2, swung on and missed, and that's a strikeout for the first out of the inning and the first strikeout of the day for Deteen.
A really good job by Deteen to really kind of lean on that changeup in this at-bat for Souza. You can see Souza was just a little out in front again, trying to come back and after that really bad shoulder injury from a season ago as they were on the road at Georgia, dove back into third base and really kind of tore that shoulder up.
Ryder Helfrich steps in, and there's a spinoff and a throw back to second. That was a little dangerous. It was tailing away from Peters, but still able to get the glove on it. And so you check back. Mike Anu, who's out there at second base, and Helfrich still waiting to see his first offering.
Morris Hodges, the umpire out there, he kind of even turned his head a little bit. He goes, I think it's kind of getting a little too close to me as well.
That's a ball popped straight back behind home plate. And so it's an 0-1 count here to Helfrich, who he laid into one yesterday as well. Had a pretty good game there for the Hogs. And he steps in right now, a 280 average. He's got 3 home runs. Plenty of production out of that backstop spot, especially for what you get with the arm and some of the defensive prowess there.
Yeah, he was really consistent in the fall. Nice curveball right there by Deteen. The power was there all fall, even early spring. So you might see Ryder Helfrich get into that 15, maybe 18 home runs if he continues to see good pitches.
0-2 hit high in the air to left field. Mensick roaming over into left center. Crisp is there. He'll make the catch, so the center fielder has it. And there's 2 outs on the board. News still at second base as, well, the history maker, Camden Kozel, steps up to the plate.
Yeah, just what a great game by Camden Kozel. He is going to remember that one for the rest of his life, and that's going to be one of those grandkid stories that he's going to be able to tell.
Omaha, Nebraska native, junior here, steps in, and the lefty ready to take his cuts. That game, those 4 hits brought him up to 364 early on in the season for the average. He checks his swing on a off-speed pitch that misses high and outside.
Seems like that the team really leans on that changeup against those left-handers. It's got some really nice fade down and away and really kind of keeps you out from having Arkansas really lift that baseball. We talked about the wind. If you can just get the ball up in the zone.
He rakes again. That one whipped right back through the box into center field. News coming home to score, and he's in standing up to make it a 1-0 Hogs lead in the first. Another run scored with 2 outs here in this series.
Well, really good job by Camden Kozel to pick up his teammates after the strikeout and the fly ball by Helfrich. Because Arkansas, you really don't want to, any team doesn't want to get that leadoff guy to second base, just to not trying to do too much, just letting that ball travel a little bit, taking it right back up the middle the way you're taught, and just a really good quality at bat. I like what Kozel said in the post game, Sean, and you pointed it out to me, and he said that he just, his last at bat, really just tried to concentrate on his breathing and slow that breathing down, and that just kind of just relaxes you. And I think that then you're not really thinking about mechanics, and because you can't do that while you're playing the game. And so if you can concentrate, get your mind on something like breathing, now you're ready to see the baseball big.
Deteen, runner on first, kicks and deals. Still got the 2 outs, and Aloy bounces one and chops it over the first baseman Stonehouse into right. Kozel taking third on the play. He's in standing up, and now you've got runners at the corners, a 1-0 lead, and Reese Robinette's ready to step up to the plate and see if he can't knock home a couple more in the first.
Really good sign for Arkansas fans. Anytime that you can see Kahio Aloy hit that ball to the right side of second base, that means he's not getting too antsy. He's got just incredible bat speed, and has kind of a tendency to like to pull the ball. He can hit it so far, but when he lets that ball travel, he has a lot of success hitting the ball to the right field side.
Robinette swings and fouls it up and out of play on the left side. And guys who sort of swing like Aloy, where, he doesn't really get cheated on many swings. They mentioned yesterday that second hack that he took that ended up ending the game was a little bit more reserved. And even then, we talked about it. He really stayed on his backside and didn't have a problem getting the ball in the air. It was a hard hit ball over Stonehouse again down the right field line, and they're going to start the merry-go-round. Kozel's in to score. They're sending Aloy. He's around third. The throw goes to second base, and it's a 2-run double for Reese Robinette to make it 3-0 Hogs in the first.
Sean, that almost looked like Reese Robinette was hitting a forehand in tennis. He just kind of flipped that one over the first baseman's head down the right field line. Look at this, and a great job by Kahio Aloy just getting on his horse. I'm a little surprised that throw didn't try to come in and get that runner at the plate. You cannot get that guy out at second base. Robinette's not speedy enough to get a triple in that situation. I think sometimes that's where you kind of have to know your opponent and maybe take a shot at that, trying to cut down Eloy at the plate.
It's TJ Pompey at the plate, and he takes the first pitch low. Not only that, but that last pitch, at least you would know better than I would, that looked like a kind of a change at the bottom of the zone. And to be able to get that swing on that pitch, I mean, these guys are really coming up, and they're taking their hacks. Already 4 hits in the first inning.
Well, you can see, like I said, it looks like Deteen is really going to that changeup to the left-handers, and if it doesn't have that fade down and away, I think that one was maybe left up just a little bit. I think a good job by Robinette to kind of be able to get down on those legs and get around that baseball.
There's a swing and a miss. And not only get around on the baseball, but hit it hard, too. That was a well-struck ball down the line and right. And, I mean, that's why you can send Eloy from first base. And that was, by the way, emphatic over at third base. They were ready by the time he got halfway to third to send him to home plate.
Yeah, Bobby Warnes, the third base coach, he had the big windmill going, didn't he?
He was jumping up and down. It was like it was like a surprise birthday party over there for him. He was ready to go.
Xavier really wanting to get the team to get out of this inning and just keep it at 3.
He's had 2 outs most of the time here. The 2-2 swung on and missed, and he does get out of the inning with his second strikeout, but not before the Hogs strike first. 3 runs on 4 hits. No errors, and they leave 1. We'll go to the second inning. Still a 3-0 Arkansas lead. The elements today to be out here to watch this last game of the 3-game series at home, but the good news is, they'll be back here again on Tuesday against Central Arkansas.
Yeah, I think like 68. So the person maybe that got free tickets today is probably thinking, man, what happened? How come I couldn't get the 68-degree day or 71 that's going to be on Wednesday? But, the sun is out. That really helps a lot again. Like the stadium's blocking a lot of that wind. I think the people in the hog pen are the brave ones.
The pitch misses low and away. I was mistaken. It is Arkansas State that'll be in
here that's right.
on Tuesday. But, I mean, it'll be an interesting day then. The weather will be a little bit nicer. That one misses outside. That game, it looks like it's going to be right around 60, but it's going to be windy again. So don't forget your jacket, Troy.
I'll be prepared.
You got the heater ready?
It's rolling right now, and we may not turn it off. We just keep the booth warm for several days.
Yeah. What's the worst that could happen, right?
That's right.
The 2-1 clips the inside corner. So you've got Colin Fisher out there working again. You got a 1-2-3 first inning. It's 3-0 Razorbacks right now after that real onslaught after the first 2 outs in the bottom half of the first. And there's a swing and a miss. First strike 3. So Landon Mensick becomes the second strikeout victim of the day for Fisher, and it brings up lefty Peter Johnson.
Yeah, really good job right there by Colin Fisher. Pulls a string with the changeup down to a really good hitter in Landon Mensick. He's already hit 3 home runs this season. Hit one yesterday to tie the game up at 6-all.
Fisher gets a bouncer that hits him on the backside and rolls towards second. Kozel's over there, but it's not going to be in enough time. That goes down as a hit for Johnson. First one of the game for the Musketeers, and they've got a base runner with 1 out. It looks like Fisher's going to be just fine there.
Yeah, just a bouncer right back up the middle. Yeah, just caught him right on the backside, like you said. No chance really for Kozel. He was playing way too deep. Smart play just to eat that one.
So it's Luke Hammond up to the plate. He's got a 179 average, 3 ribbies so far this year. Fisher, first move he does is goes to first, and that's not in time. Johnson has not stolen a base yet this season, but obviously you want to keep him close, and with a 3-run lead, try and keep him out of scoring position if you can.
Yeah, Xavier really hasn't been a team that's run a lot today. Some really good pickoff moves by Colin Fisher.
Saw 2 different ones there. One was just the straight, I'm going to use my 45 degrees to go to first. The other one, he stepped off the backside.
Well, you've got a catcher in Ryder Helfer that throws the baseball really well.
The first pitch to Hammond misses low. So he's been up to the plate for 2 actions so far, but that one just missed a touch below the zone. And so Hammond's ahead in the count with 1 out, 1-0.
I also think that with the wind blowing out, there's a high probability that anything up in the air could get up in that jet stream and carry out. And both coaches, you're probably going to see them play station to station, because there's such a big chance for the ball just to fly out of the yard. You can see the flags really whipping right there.
Especially out to right field, but you're going to have to get it above the canopy. And this is high, because a lot of times when the wind's coming kind of from back, it sort of angles up a little bit coming off the top of the stadium, and so line drive, it won't affect a line drive very much, but
right.
You get those fly balls out to right field, and you could see them carry quite a bit. 3-0 pitch, get me over for a strike. So he's back in the count. Hammond hitting out of the 6-hole today. Grad student, 6'4", 200 pounds. There's a throw over to first base. That's not in time. And I mean, when you go through this roster, we talked about it a bit yesterday, Troy. This is not a small baseball team. Most of these guys are over 6 feet tall, and plenty of them are 6'4".
Yeah, really physical team, and a veteran team as well.
Fisher, 3-1, chopped over the mound towards short. Brumbaugh up on it, his plays to first, and he makes it. Robinette popped off the bag quick to watch Johnson, but he's stuck at second base, so there's a runner in scoring position, but now 2 outs.
Just to talking about a little more in depth about this Xavier baseball team, I always like to look at, are they a young ball club, older ball club? But so they've got 3 grad students, 9 seniors, 13 juniors, 9 sophomores, and 9 freshmen. So definitely more of that advanced older class type of ball club.
Another bouncer to Brumbaugh. That's in time to first base, and it closes out the inning. A strikeout, a hit, and 2 ground balls to short get Fisher out of the inning, and we go to the bottom of the second. It's still 3-0 Razorbacks. Difference this year for Arkansas, and you see the list of 5 right there from all over the country. And Troy, you've got the first guy there, Micah New. He's in the leadoff spot today, but there's a handful of other guys that have certainly made some impacts.
Yeah, you've got 3 of those guys, position players, all are starters. So that's Arkansas going back and filling in those holes. Dave Van Horn and the whole coaching staff's thought process is they love to get freshmen and develop them for the 3 years. And but then you're always going to have to go to that portal and fill in some spots. But the other 2 guys, Ethan McIlvain's thrown great, got him from Vanderbilt, just a big wide-bodied left-hander. Love James DeCramer out of Oregon State. He'll hit 95, 96 with a big sweeping breaking ball as well.
The team misses low that time. They've got Zach Stewart up there, who's a senior, 6'2", left-handed hitter. Another guy went to
Missouri State.
High School, went to Missouri State.
I tell you what, if Arkansas fans remember Zach Stewart, he would come out and just torch Arkansas every year he would come to Fayetteville.
He pops that one up and out of play to make it 1-2. Missouri State, I believe you and I did a game last year with Missouri State,
That's right.
Those were some pretty good games as well. So, and not too far from here either. It's only about 2 hours to get up to
Springfield. I think Missouri State came down to Fayetteville and they lost the game. We were supposed to go up to Springfield and play, and I think it was really bad weather, and they just canceled it pretty early on. But that's always been a good match, kind of those borderline states.
It's a fun stadium that they play.
It really is.
I spend a decent amount of time there during the summer.
I bet.
Just redid the press box up there.
Oh, really?
Last year. Breaking ball misses low.
Good take. And again, Stewart, if he kind of gets some tips from everybody else, might be sitting on a changeup right here. Seems like that Deteen has really gone with that changeup down those lefties, especially ahead in the count.
2-2. Stewart cranks it up in the air left side. I paused for a second before saying it went out of play just because that wind is whipping and he got it up there.
I tell you what, infielders and outfielders, you need to, if anything's down that left field line, don't give up too quickly.
Especially the infielders. There's a lot of room here in foul ground to get to the warning track. That one misses outside. We've got a full count now at 3-2 here to Stewart, the left fielder hitting out of the 8-hole. And he's still looking for that first hit of the season, but this has been a quality at bat for him.
Yeah, it really has. And again, he hasn't been too jumpy, kind of the senior Really kind of tries to slow that heartbeat down.
Payoff. Smacks it in the air, left side again. Hammond chasing after it onto the warning track, and it drops in foul ground.
Wow.
Wind pushed that one back a good 7 feet from where he ended up.
Yeah, you even saw fans, looking like it was going to hit them in the stands, and you could see the big effect of that. And let's see if Zach Stewart can't take advantage of that extra strike.
And don't forget, too, that was a good pitch that he fouled off. Fastball riding at the top of the zone and still able to get up there and make contact with it.
It's one thing we've talked about throughout this whole entire weekend, Sean, is just the Xavier pitcher's not afraid to throw up in the zone. Let that fastball ride and really carry.
3-2, ripped foul down the first base side.
That was the changeup. Just left it up a little bit. Fans were really trying to encourage Zach Stewart.
It's a good at-bat so far. Razorback fans want to see it pay off for him.
He's definitely got some power. There's no doubt.
Deteen, 3-2 hit in the air, right center field. Going back, crisp, at the track, at the wall. It's off the scoreboard and gone. 4-0 Razorbacks. And Zach Stewart goes deep for the first time this season with his first hit of the year.
Just a great at-bat. You talked about how much Zach Stewart was battling. Spoiled a couple fastballs up and away, pulled the changeup, got the fastball right over the plate. He did not miss it. Got it up in that jet stream, and he knew he got it. He hit about halfway up that board, and again, I know Dave Van Horn's happy to see him in the Cardinal color instead of Missouri State colors, hitting home runs against the Hogs.
Well, that one, not a cheapie either. That one was estimated for $3.99.
Yeah, need that extra half a foot.
So Carson Brumbaugh comes up to the plate, the 9-hole hitter and a freshman. Fouls the first pitch he sees off. It's a 4-0 Razorbacks lead. They've scored in the first 2 opening innings here.
Getting to see the size of Carson Brumbaugh. Definitely does not look like a freshman body out there. 6'3", 215.
That gets on the outside corner for a called strike right there. It's, size-wise, it's 6'3", where he's at. I mean, that's pretty big for a big league shortstop.
Yeah, it
too.
really is.
You're getting up into that. Once you get to like 6'4", it's like, wow, that's a giant guy out there. That misses up top, and as a freshman, he may not be done growing yet.
No, that's true. But super athletic, very strong arm. You probably will not see him pitch anytime this year, but sometime maybe in his Arkansas career, you might see him up on the bump as well.
It was a swing and a miss for strike 3, and so he's down for the 3rd strikeout of the day for Deteen. But it does roll the order over, and you get Micah New back up to the plate with 1 out.
Yeah, it's a good bounce back by Deteen. Again, that's what you always want to know as a pitching coach and a head coach is how are players going to react to adversity? And that's a really good job. You really didn't see a lot of animation out of Jack Deteen, and I think that shows just a lot of character. Just, it's going to happen. People are going to hit you. You're going to get, if you're a pitcher, you're going to get punched out as a hitter. You just have to have a short memory, just kind of do a reset and move on.
He's got 1 out in the inning, and Micah New, who's already 1 for 1 with a run scored today, is back up to the plate. Now, the thing to keep an eye on, too, and we watched this a little bit yesterday, but Deteen's at 37 pitches so far. 25 of them are for strikes. Like he's in and around the zone. He's just gotten hit around a bit. 5 knocks for the Razorbacks so far in this one. As that nabs blown away corner for a strike, and now New is going to have to get to that 2-strike approach in a 1-2 count.
Yeah, that was one of those unhittable pitches, down and away on breaking ball. As a hitter, sometimes you just have to tip your hat on a pitch like that.
1-2. This is high. Evens it up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. At the same time, sometimes those pitches, when you're a right-hander, if you're thinking of going the other way, there's some space there between first and second.
Yeah, there is. And again, the Xavier pitcher is not afraid to go up in the zone with 2 strikes.
They do, and this is a sky-high fly ball into center field. Chris point back. Now he's coming in. He settles, And he's got it for the second out of the inning. That brings up Nolan Souza, who struck out in the first, but is back up to the plate here, hitting out of the 2-hole as the DH. Junior. Ready
Sean,
to face the team.
Yeah, Sean, you talked about, Crisp's read on that. It's a little easier that when you're used to using like on wood bats, you can really tell a lot better from a sound of how well a guy hit a baseball. But with these composite bats, it's a little harder to see. You see a really good swing. You think with the wind, Crisp, he did the right thing. Really, it's like if I can't tell, I'm going to go back on the baseball on a day like today with that wind, and then easily was able to come in and make that play.
1-0 misses outside. I think that's an important thing for the youngsters that might be listening. They always teach you your first move should be to go back if you're unsure.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it's easier to come in on a ball than it is to go back, because you're looking back over your shoulder, contorting and all that stuff. Coming in, everything's in front of you.
That's so true. Souza looking for something up in the zone that he can drive. A lot of off speed and down and away, trying to stay away from the big left-hander. Souza definitely has some pop, and again, when he's on, like a lot of lefties, it's when you're hitting that ball to left center field.
Well, instead, he takes 4 pitches for a walk and gets the free pass here with 2 outs to put a runner aboard in a 4-0 game as Ryder Helfrich ready to take to the plate for the second time today in as many innings. Helfrich flied out to center his first time up today. He's back up to face Deteen as he steps in. It's a righty-on-righty matchup here. Got the third baseman Hammond playing up. There's a pickoff to first, not in time.
Yeah, I'm really surprised with how Xavier is really playing that third baseman Hammond. With you've got your 3-hole hitter up, 2 outs. You're probably not going to be bunting in this situation.
Another throw over, not in time to first, and so they're keeping a close eye on Souza there, who's still looking to steal that first base of the season. But it is a little bit surprising, even with the righty up right there. And
yeah.
A guy that's hit 3 home runs and has had, some pretty good hitting accolades in his career. Takes a strike there, so that's it. But we do see where, normally with the 2 strikes, they do move him back a little bit, so at least there's some protection right there.
I would kind of be questioning, coaches, are you sure you want me to play this tight on a guy that really likes to pull that ball down the third base line?
No, misses outside. And there are, I think, if anything in my brain, that shows how much confidence they have in his abilities at third base, because if he's playing up that much, even against guys who generally swing away, he's probably got some decent reaction time over there.
Well, you'd hope so.
Yeah, that is very true. There's a lot of pickoff attempts over to first base to try and get Souza. Inches out to his lead again. Deteen throws over again. It's on the money, but just not in time. Souza not getting too far out over there, especially with all these throwovers. He's sort of keeping it nice and short.
Yeah, a little different rules for college baseball. You can pick as many times as you want. You kind of have those limited pickoff attempts in MLB.
There's a swing and a miss. Helfrich in a 1-2 count after he got through on that off-speed pitch.
Really good changeup. Only 79 miles an hour on that last pitch, and boy, you could tell Helfrich was way out in front. I mean, the thing that really makes a good changeup is that arm speed of the pitcher, and Deteen did not slow that arm speed down. It's all due to the grip.
Throw over again. That's not in time. I think it's also noticing the defense. We've got outfielders playing deep again today, but you've got the second baseman, Thomas, slid over to the shortstop side of the bag. It's a line drive into right center, down for a base hit. Souza's already around second as the ball gets to the wall. Send him home. He's on his way. Helfrich into second. He's got himself an RBI double, and it's a 5-0 Razorback lead in the second.
Yeah, I think Nate Thompson, the hitting coach for Arkansas, is going to be really pleased with his players staying on the baseball, not trying to do too much with 2 strikes. Helfrich just took that pitch where it was thrown on the outside corner. Great speed by Nolan Souza. He scores easily standing up, and Again, that is another RBI for the catcher from California, Ryder Helfrich.
Another good swing, too. That pitch down and away from him. He was able to just, you talked about extension yesterday with some of the homers, but he was able to get extended and stroke that one right into the alley out there. Got all the way to the wall, and there was really no chance to even have a play at the plate right there.
Yeah, another one of that free base run, the walk to Souza, comes around to score, and I tell you what, as a coach, those are the ones that drive you crazy, those free base runners.
So Kahil Aloy at the plate right now.
We talked about, the reason why do you walk Camden Kojal with 2 outs right there? Well, like we talked about in the open, the teen, people have been hitting 500 left-handers anyway.
The bouncer to short. Peters cuts it off. He's got it to first in time, and that'll get him out of the inning. 6-3 on the putout right there, and it's a 5-0 game.
Yeah, big fly right there by Zach Stewart. You can see he got that one, hit about halfway up the board. He was totally stoked. 5-0 Hogs.
Nothing. Arkansas leads Xavier in the final game of this 3-game series. Sean Vernon alongside Troy Eklund. And, well, Troy, the leash may be getting a little bit longer here for Fisher with that 5-run lead as it stands right now.
Yeah, I think so. We were talking to Matt Hobbs, the pitching coach, and he said what they're really wanting to try to do is keep pushing these pitch counts up for the starters. They'd really like them to get maybe 80 on a day like today. You might even see going a little bit more than that, but probably around 80.
It's a chopper to third. Pompey up on it, and he gets it to first in time for the first out of the inning. The other nice thing for Fisher is that the defense has been all over the field so far. The first ball hit today was to second. Kojal made a nice play on a line drive. Since then, he's gotten 3 ground balls to short, 2 strikeouts, and 1 to third now.
Yeah, he's really a pitcher that pitches to contact, and again, on a day like today, you just got to keep that ball on the ground if all possible. And I tell you what, you got to credit both teams so far. No errors on such a cold day, especially as an infielder. You see some of the Arkansas players have got some of those, the hand warmer that's behind their back. You can see right there. I think that's Pompey over there at third base. Anything to keep that hand warm and be able to get a grip on that cold baseball.
There's a swing and a miss. Part of me wonders if he's got the batting gloves in the back pocket just to keep them warm a little bit for when he gets up to the plate later. Hey, speaking of being busy, J.D. Crisp up to the plate right now, and he's had 2 fly balls to center field. He's had to put in some work out there himself.
Yeah, he has. He's a super defensive, great defensive center fielder, and a little bit of a surprise for head coach Billy O'Connor on the offensive side. Really didn't really show flashes of that in the fall, and has really come on the spring. And again, good quality at bats, good takes like that one right there, not expanding the strike zone. He's a guy that's got some really good speed, and if he can just put that ball in play, he's going to have a lot of success.
Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Crisp down on strikes for the second out of the inning. That's the 3rd punch out for Colin Fisher here today, and it brings the top of the order back up with Jonathan Fitz.
Kind of the old-fashioned breaking ball. You can see how Crisp just swings right over the top of that one. Really good depth. A nice spin rate of almost 2,800 by Colin Fisher.
Lefty ready to face the right-hander at the plate in the DH and leadoff hitter. Fitz takes the first pitch for a strike, and we talked about the efficiency on the other side of things. Fisher has just been, pretty efficient overall so far.
Yeah, I think on a day like today, you got to love, if you're playing defense, any position out there, that you got a guy that's working fast on the mound. He's throwing a lot of strikes, so it kind of keeps that defense on their toes and ready to make a play, especially on the cold day like today.
0-2 misses inside. And, more to your point, just before that pitch missed, it was 20 strikes and 8 balls.
Wow.
So now 9 balls. But and we talked about that a little bit yesterday too, because the bullpen came in and they were throwing strikes like nothing you've ever seen. It's a ground ball to second. Kojal to his right makes the play, and that puts a cap on a 1-2-3 third inning. So it's 5-0 Razorbacks. We'll take a break on this cold and windy day and come back at Baum Walker Stadium in Fayetteville, Arkansas. secret that Arkansas produces a whole host of very good to great baseball players. Last year's draft, no exception to the rule.
Yeah, some 4 first-rounders. I think that might be a record at Arkansas. You can see where they went in the draft. Some just elite guys. The pitchers in Wood and Root, and great position players, Aloy and just Mr. Clutch, Charles Davalon. And Arkansas had 11 guys drafted and then 2 signed free agency contracts. So you're talking about 13 guys off the team a season ago. And again, Arkansas just reloads.
Well, depending on how quick Root and Davalon get through the system, they may be playing back here in Northwest Arkansas again someday. Their AA affiliate is in the Texas League.
Yeah, you know a little something about that.
A couple things, not much. I fake it really well, though, Troy. I don't know if you could tell that. But Reese Robinette up to the plate. He's hitting .364 so far in this early part of the season. It's a 5-0 Razorbacks lead. Luke Heyman playing up at third base and off the line. Part of that is because Eddie Peters has gone to the right side of second base now, and we've got the second baseman Thomas playing shallow right field.
You see Xavier really taking advantage of that shift, and that next year in college baseball is a rule change year. I would be shocked if they don't adopt that major league rule to say like you have to have, everybody has to be at least start on the dirt of the infield and have to have 2 players on each side. So first and second base have to be on their side of second base on the right side, and short and third have to be on the left side.
Everybody's got to be on the dirt. 1-2 swung on and fouled off, and they've moved that down through the minors now too. So when all those 11 guys that got drafted last year, they're all they dealt with that late last year, and now they're going to deal with it again this year. There was a point where I think it was the Florida State League. They had experimented with what they called the pizza slice or the pie slice behind second base. Did you see that one?
No,
Basically, there was a cone behind second base, and it was like a neutral zone.
Okay.
You couldn't get in there before the pitch was thrown. So if you're a second baseman, you had to be not just to the right of the bag, but to the right of whatever the designated area was.
Okay.
And so they were playing with that. Maybe that was a year or 2 ago.
Was it actually like painted on the field?
It was. I think there were lines actually on the field for that one. There's a ball that gets rocketed over to the right side into the seats, and so I guess somebody caught it because there were some fist pumps down there.
Yeah, off the ricochet. That's the way to make a play like that.
I'm a big get out of the way person. My days are long gone.
You wouldn't want to try to catch it barehanded on a 40-degree day.
No. 1-2, bouncer right side. Thomas, no, that's a shortstop Peters that cuts it off and throws it to first base. There's the first out of the inning. So that one goes down 6-3 if you're keeping score at home. But it brings up TJ Pompey for the second time today. He struck out to end the first inning, but back up to the plate here. He's already gotten a couple knocks here so far this season, 5 to be exact. He's at 227 and back up to the plate trying to get in on the fun.
Yeah, Pompey chased a breaking ball down and away with 2 strikes, so he's looking for something he can square up in this AB.
Deteen gets the outside corner to start him off with a strike.
Yeah, it doesn't always work that way. You strike out your last at-bat, and then the first pitch, it might have been a baseball off the plate, gets called for a strike, and then now you're digging your way out of a hole.
0-1, very similar pitch, but missed a little bit further outside. That time it was a change that they missed wide of the zone, so it's even at 1-1. You can see Pompey with that face mask pulled down just beneath the lip there, trying to stay warm. 1-1 gets fouled off today. Was there anything back in your day that you did to try and stave off the cold when you get started? It's like 38, 39 degrees. We're at 41 right now.
Yeah, we didn't have the fancy, I guess, the things keep your head warm or anything like that. It felt like just the old school long johns underneath the sleeves.
1-2, cut on and missed. Pompey down on strikes for the second out of the inning. That's number 4 for Deteen. And it brings up Zach Stewart.
I tell you what I've really liked out of Jack Deteen is his ability to start working down in the zone. I think he kind of got the ball up in the zone early on in this game, and that's why Arkansas did a lot of damage. You see him, the breaking balls down in the zone, the change-ups down, and if he's not going to get a punch out, he's getting some ground balls out of it.
Well, Zach Stewart did not hit a ground ball his
no,
last
he did
time
not.
up. He had a rocket off the scoreboard in right field. Goes after the first pitch and sends it foul on the right side up against the sidewall. But he got the senior got a nice ovation as he headed up to the plate. We mentioned that was his first hit of the season, his first home run with the Hogs. And it seems as though the fans have accepted him just fine here.
Oh, absolutely. Don't you know, there's the regulars know exactly who he is. And heads up down the first base line of first base coach for Arkansas, Hudson Polk. He almost took that one for the team. He had to be scrambling out of the way of that line drive foul by Zach Stewart.
It's always interesting to see the first base coaches because they have to make business decisions over there as
That's
to,
right.
is this a catchable ball that I can keep play moving, or do I have to get out of the way? That one seemed pretty simple.
He was bailing quick on that one.
Deteen, the 1-1. Soft liner over short and dumps into left center field. So Stewart came in with no hits. He's got 2 in consecutive at-bats. That one a single, and we're down to the 9th spot in Carson Brumball.
Well, definitely Zach Stewart taking advantage of this start with the calf tightness from Damian Ruiz, and that's what you got to do. You get your opportunity. If you produce, then you'll have more opportunities down the road.
Brumbaugh gets up to the plate 0 for 1 so far. He K'd his first time up in the 2nd inning. But digs in. You can see that. Looks like a fanny pack behind him, but that's actually the hand warmer there that we were talking about earlier. It was a swing and a miss, but we talked about it when we were talking about some hamate issues yesterday.
Right.
I think even the cold now, especially with the metal bats, you really have to find a way to keep those hands warm, especially when you're playing something like shortstop like Brumbaugh is.
Absolutely. You know, there's definitely a heater down in the dugout, and try to keep those hands warm before you get up to the plate.
0-1, hit into right field, tailing away from Johnson, but he's there to make the catch. And that's the final out of the inning. Hogs get a hit, strand a base runner, but still lead it 5-0 out here in Fayetteville. Billy O'Connor was talking the other day about how important it is for these guys to, suffer through some adversity and grow that way. But they're really going through it with some injury issues right now because those are 3 of the top hitters that would normally be in their lineup. Troy.
Yeah, that'd be like basically your 1, 2, 3 hitters in your lineup. You see Connor Mish, the Big East preseason player of the year, had a great season ago. Clay Burdett. So Mish has a concussion, got hit in the head when they were practicing down at IMG, and it's kind of slow to return. That's something you have to be real careful with. Clay Burdett has an oblique strain, and then Jorge Valdez has got that hamate bone injury, that little bone the side of your hand. And tell you what, when those guys, you can see, like, Arkansas's already had, this is no cakewalk playing in Xavier. They've had to battle to win 5-2, then the 7-6 victory. They won in the bottom of the 9th yesterday. So you put those 3 guys back in the lineup, they are going to be very tough and very competitive, down the stretch in this season.
And that's not to take away anything, obviously, from the guys that have operated at the top of the lineup. Yesterday, they combined for 4 hits in that game and had 4 RBI as well. So they are picking it up as those guys are down. That's only going to add depth to the lineup for Xavier when eventually those guys do get back. Right there, though, Eddie Peters strikes out. And we've got number 4 on the board here for Colin Fisher as we get to the big guy, Josh Stonehouse there sitting in that 3-hole.
Again, nice job by Colin Fisher, but just to go back and what kind of averages. Connor Mish hit .335 a season ago. Clay Burdett hit .289 with 12 home runs. Both of those guys had over 40 RBIs.
How about that play? A nice swipe out there. Fisher flips it to first, and it's the 2nd out of the inning. He made that look as cool and as calm as could be.
I'm not sure if that was planned or he just threw his glove down there and said, let's see what I can come up with. They definitely swiped at it. It was kind of those, Mom, look what I found, as he turned around. It's like, oh, it ended up in my glove. He played it off pretty cool, though. I had it the whole time.
Yeah, he had the glove out a little bit and then swiped at it, managed to catch it. That's a nice play right there. And now you got Landon Mensick up there at the plate, and he takes the first pitch for a strike.
I think he's probably feeling a little bit better about that than he did when that ball hit him on the backside. It's like a little bit better job of fielding his position.
There's a swing and a miss to make it 0-2. Yeah, especially because that one was – I think that one was a little softer than the first one.
I think so.
He was able to kind of get there, but also, it's tough having your back turned to the plate when that ball comes at you. You got to protect yourself. Here's the 0-2. Missed low and away.
I like what Landon Mensick did right there. He kind of slowed down. He stepped out of the box, took a deep breath. kind of slow Fisher down just a bit.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Got him on a breaking ball in. And that's strike three, number 5 in this game for Fisher.
Great job by Colin Fisher. Really feeling it. The breaking ball is really working. Great job by Ryder Helfrich dialing up number 2 for Fisher.
Nothing lead. The Razorbacks send the top of the order to the plate. It'll be Mike Anu, Nolan Souza, Ryder Helfrich. And with that 5-run lead, they got 3 in the first, 2 in the second, Troy. And well, they really haven't looked back since then, especially with Colin Fisher dealing the way he has.
Yeah, Colin Fisher's really just been super efficient. Mike Anu really didn't like that one. Thought it was down and away. And again, you just have to have a short memory as a hitter, because if you think that ball's off the plate, you can't think about that one. You got to say, okay, I got to get one in the zone.
0-1. Thought about it, but lays off, and the pitch is just on the outside edge for a called strike.
Couple great pitches right there by Jack Deteen. See if he just doesn't go out a little bit farther right here.
0-2 on the ground to short. Nice snag. Peters fires it to first, and that's in time to get the Hogs leadoff man for the first out of the inning. A little bit of a hot shot there to short, Troy, but he was able to wrangle it, no problem.
Yeah, that's a great job by Peters. Deteen, I think he was wanting that. Saw the catcher sitting up way down and away, and that's Morton, the catcher. Normally it's Fitz. Just missed a spot right there, and I think Deteen kind of got away with one. That's kind of like a breaking ball hanging right up over the heart of the plate.
So now it's Nolan Souza. Walked his last time up. Chops this one to the left side. Peters up on it. Fields throws. Did he get him? No. Ball gets away. Rolls behind, and he's safe over there. That was a bang-bang play that ends up going Souza's way because he legged it out.
Yeah, Souza's got some great speed. 6'3", just a slow tapper. Peters really had to be aggressive and take off. And being that left-handed batter, a couple steps closer to first base, again, just a great stretch by Stonehouse over there. Just wasn't able to make it. I think if he fields that ball, he's going to get the runner at first.
Well, Souza gets a single now. 8 hits on the day for the Razorbacks. Ryder Helfrich settles in. First pitch was another break ball. He's really trying to go to that outside corner with the slow stuff.
Yeah, it looks like that's kind of his MO. He'll throw the fastball up in the zone and really try to stay away from these hitters. The breaking ball to the right-handers, throwing a lot of change-ups to the left-handers.
1-0 hammered high in the air to deep left field. Mensick turns and watches it fly way into the hog pen in left field. Helfrich goes deep for the second straight game, and Arkansas extends their lead by 2. It's 7-0 in the 4th inning.
Just a big fly by Ryder Helfrich. That hit distance 406 feet, hit it over the seats out there in the hog pen. And again, he had home runs in the fall, home runs in the spring, really got it up in that jet stream. He knew it when he hit it. He's like, that one's gone. Got a little look back in the dugout saying that one's for you guys.
And that'll prompt a little mound visit here as Helfrich and company celebrating the dugout. And so we will end up taking a break as a new pitcher comes in the game. It's 7-0 Razorbacks.
Really just a 2-pitch mix guy. A lot of times you see relievers just throwing 2 pitches. You'll throw the fastball that sits around the upper 80s, might touch 90. We'll throw a slurve, kind of slurvy slider as well. Kind of over the top release. And you'll see him, I'd say one stat I really like is he a ground ball guy? Is he a fly ball guy? How about 50-50 for Joey Young? Just spreads the love all around.
It's been short relief so far this season. This will be his 3rd appearance of the year. and went 2/3 of an inning at East Carolina that same day that Deteen made his last start. 3 runs on 4 hits in that one through 29 pitches to get out of the frame. And then 1/3 of an inning at Louisville back on the 17th. He came in and got a strikeout to get out of that. So 3rd appearance for him, and he's going up against Cam Kojal, who's put together a pretty good game off the heels of his cycle yesterday. He's got a single, a run scored, an RBI, and he's been intentionally walked. And he takes the first pitch of the day from Young for a strike.
Really good pitch down and in to Kojal. Kind of a good pitcher's pitch right there for Joe Young.
Kojal's already scored 11 runs on the season. And he bounces one to second. Couple hops, and Thomas has it on a knee. It's in time to first. And that's the second out of the inning. We'll see the 5-hole hitter Kahio Aloy step up to the plate. And we keep talking about yesterday's game. It was a good game. Aloy had he had the game-ending hit. I stop myself short of like he had the biggest hit of the game.
Right.
Like, in the game, yes. With 2 outs, here's the pitch. Young goes right after him and gets a pitch across the outside corner.
Yeah, really good spot again. Almost like the same spot that first pitch to Camden Kojal. Aloy looking something middle in.
Young misses outside that time.
Again, coming into this ball game, Kahio is the one who's been leading the team in average. And everybody knows about that tremendous power, but really kind of shortens up and tries to use all fields with 2 strikes.
Yeah, that one misses outside, so they're really trying to get him to chase there. The thing that I've noticed about Aloy and seeing him over last year and this year, he's got very good hands, which you find in a lot of really good hitters.
Yeah, very good bat speed, and that's where you generate that power.
2-1. Lays off. That pitch was high, and they kind of stood up and looked back out there. And almost looked like you're not. That was close, but you're not going to get me on that one this time.
It's definitely animated in the box, is Kahio Aloy. I love how loose his hands are.
He gets off an ace swing, but skies it up and out of play.
He wants that one back. You talk about splitting the plate. That was a fastball right down the chute. I think Aloy just kind of overswung on that one, just pulled off of it just a bit.
Yeah, right in that middle square. That's a middle. That is where you want the ace swing to come in, right?
I think Joe Young's going to be glad that one just fouled back.
The payoff. That's bounced left side slow. Hammond up on it. Double clutch and can't get it there in time. Aloy beats it out. That ball took one high hop there, Troy, and Hammond had the double clutch, and that cost him throwing it to first.
Yeah, it almost looked like that Hammond fielded that baseball in the webbing of his glove. Just a tapper. Aloy runs pretty well. Hammond's playing pretty deep with 2 strikes. We see that little extra time to try to get it out of that glove. And again, sometimes as an infielder, if you catch that ball in the webbing, it's not there in the pocket where it's not as easy to get that ball pulled out.
Reese Robinette digs in, still 2 outs. And he goes after it, flares it down the line and left. Mensick racing after it, and he makes the catch out there in left field, probably good 30 feet off the line. So that ball never curved back towards the fair foul line there. That ends the inning. And so it's still 7-0 Hogs as we take it into the 5th.
It's for the left-hander, and he's using all his arsenal in there. The breaking ball to the left. He's got Stonehouse right there, really turning the baseball over with change-ups to the right-handers. Not afraid to pitch inside as well. And again, that's what you want on a really cold day, is just get the baseball, go out there and really fill up that strike zone. Again, he's not a guy that's going to get a lot of punch outs. He'll get his fair share, but again, just a pitch to contact type of guy.
38 pitches into the start so far, and he's gotten to the 5th inning, so that is well ahead of schedule. Usually, again, we're talking about the levels I normally am at,
right,
but generally a good number would be like 15 per inning. So, you know, at this stage in the game, you're talking about being at 60 pitches, and he is well short of that.
That's right. You know, this is going to be one of those things that what do you really want to do if you're Matt Hobbs and Dave Van Horn? Do you want to keep pushing Fisher's pitch count up a little bit more, so you try to stretch him out is kind of the term, or do you want to try to maybe see some other arms? You do have 2 midweek games on Tuesday, Wednesday, so I think it's more, this will be more about Fisher maybe getting north of 80 than it is as much as like, hey, I want to see 3 or 4 guys today.
Well, Fisher's only given up 1 hit so far on the day, and it was to Peter Johnson. It was a single that ended up being a comebacker that hit him right on the backside, and Johnson was able to reach base. So he's back up to the plate in a 2-0 count already. And that time Fisher gets the strike.
The thing I really like about Colin Fisher, just right there, he's behind 2-0. He doesn't give in. That is a fastball at the bottom part of the zone, and you know you're not going to get hurt down there.
The lefty deals. Gets another strike. So after going down 2-0, he throws 2 straight strikes, both of them pretty good pitches, and he's back even at 2-2. Shakes off a couple of signs there. They've got one, though. And it gets slapped up and out of play. It was a breaking ball.
And a lot of times you'll see Ryder Helfrich, the Arkansas catcher, he'll shake, and he wants the pitcher to shake because you want that hitter to come up there and go like, what was he going to throw? He didn't like that one. Hey, how about the fans like that one right there?
Everybody liked that one. Big swing and a miss there, comes up empty, and that's a strikeout. So Fisher has put together 6 of them so far through now 4 1/3 innings. And he's going to see Luke Hammond, who grounded out to short his first and only time up, head back to the plate.
Fisher working from that far left-hand side of the mound, almost kind of toward that third base side. And it's funny how pitchers have their different feels. You know, Gabe Gackle, again, being right-handed, he works to the opposite side.
The ones that really get me are the lefties that work from the first base side.
Right, and that's a really funky, especially maybe like that 3/4 almost on sidearm creates a little extra angle from that side of the rubber.
Some of those breaking balls look like they're coming out of right field.
That's right. Maybe at least from the second base spot.
1-1, tried to handcuff him there, but that's a good take by Luke Hammond. A tempting pitch, but he's able to keep that bat back and jump ahead in the count at 2-1.
Might have been a little bit of a cutter. That was only about 85. You'll see Fisher hit 90-91.
2-1 gets there.
That's a good job by Ryder Helfrich. I think he stole a strike right there. If you're Luke Hammond, you're thinking it's 2-1. I'm going to get a good pitch to hit. Gets outside corner dotted.
And got it again. Breaking ball for strike 3. Down looking. That's number 7 for Fisher, and he's piling them up here. 2 outs in the 5th.
Really nice spin rate for Colin Fisher. Talking about how tight that breaking ball is, and the more spin rate, the more bite it's going to have. That was 28.49, so that's a well above average spin rate on a curveball.
Tanner Thomas settles in with 2 outs, top of the 5th. Dribbles a foul on the left side. A 7-0 game. And you've got the 10 hits to just the 1. Arkansas has really been swinging the bat well, and I think the big thing is after yesterday's game, these guys have come back. They're making solid contact. They're well-struck balls by and large.
Right, hitting the ball hard. Really cut down on the on the strikeouts. Saw that breaking ball roll in there, and I couldn't help to comment on it. But on the strikeouts on Arkansas on the offensive side. Can you even talk about the size of these Xavier guys?
Well, he tried to check the swing, but goes around. That time he goes after a breaking ball that gets buried. And how about Fisher? Strikes out the side here in the 5th inning, and it's still 7-0 Razorbacks.
How about 5 of his last 6 batters Colin Fisher has punched out? Great job by the big left-hander.
Game into the bottom half of the 5th, so we're halfway through it, but this isn't the only game in the league going on right now. You got Tennessee, number 13, trailing in the bottom of the 4th to Kent State, 3-2. Texas is up 3-0 in the bottom of the 4th to Michigan. Delaware and Mississippi State, still no score in the top of the 2nd there, Troy. And then you got Georgia They're at Stanford they're home against Stanford right now. That game's in the bottom of the third, 9-0.
Yeah, the Bulldogs really putting it on Samford. And again, knotted up. Florida's knotted up with Kennesaw State. That's a really great game to watch, that Auburn-Louisville game. That's some teams that have some good quality athletes.
As we mentioned, 7-0 here. Arkansas out in front with 10 hits on the day. Looking to add to that is TJ Pompey, who's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts, digs in. First pitch to him gets a swing and a miss. So you got Joey Young back out there. He replaced Jack Deteen during the last inning when they were out on the field. Right-hander sends it home. Pompey's swing and a miss.
Almost had like a little bit of cut to that fastball right there by Joey Young. Really good job. He went up and in to Pompey on the first pitch, almost unhittable, but still in the strike zone. Then he goes up and away. So really working both sides of the plate against TJ Pompey in this at-bat.
0-2 pitch, misses high. Pompey back into it. Deteen went 3 1/3, 7 runs on 9 hits with a couple of walks and 4 punch-outs. 2 homers that the Razorbacks hit, one off the bat of Ryder Helfrich here today, and then the other one, Zach Stewart. 1-2. Breaking ball fooled him, got him inside part of the plate for strike 3. That one was thrown pretty hard and tight right there, Troy.
Yeah, that was probably one of the best pitches that Joey Young's thrown so far in this ball game. And boy, really locked up TJ Pompey. I think out of the hand, Pompey thought that was going to be maybe up and in. That's really good bite on that one. Just could not pull the trigger. That was kind of a pitching lesson right there by Joey Young. That's how you get a batter out, working in, up and away. Throw that kind of like that backdoor breaking ball.
Zach Stewart homered earlier today. He's got 2 hits already, a single in that blast, and comes up to the plate. He's in an 0-1 count right now. Oh, 1 swing, and that's in there for a strike. Makes it an 0-2. Carson Brumbaugh in the on-deck circle as Stewart steps back in, adjusts the helmet.
I think Joey Young really hitting his spots again. That one's just dotted that outside corner. That's why you saw that Stewart swung through it.
0-2, and on the hands gets fouled away. You could see something we haven't seen a ton of, Hammond playing way off the line.
Right.
Almost to the natural, almost pretty close to a natural shortstop's position there, while the shortstop, Peters, is back up the middle towards second base.
I'm a little surprised that Peters isn't around that side, but again, the last at-bat by Stewart, he shot that one kind of right over the shortstop's head.
It's high and outside. So Stewart saw a really good at-bat earlier from him where he just fouled off pitch after pitch and got a full count. Finally able to capitalize, and now back at it in an 0-2 hole. He takes that pitch.
You know that Nate Thompson, the hitting coach for Arkansas, is really happy with the plate appearances by Zach Stewart. I mean, just really good quality. You can see him fired up right there. And again, that's, it's not always about, what the result is. It's like, how did you get there? What was your approach? Or can you build upon that at bat for your next one?
2-2, cut on and fouled off, but into the mitt for strike 3. So Stewart dispatched despite a decent at bat right there. And that will bring up the aforementioned Carson Brumbaugh. You and I were talking about it yesterday, and it's pretty incredible when you play something like baseball, which is often called a failure sport because you're in the Hall of Fame if you fail 70% of the time as a hitter. It is funny that, a lot of times these guys go up, they're just trying to put together the best at bat they can and let the outcomes take care of themselves. First pitch to Brumbaugh, misses outside.
I think Brumbaugh is only the second freshman to start in the Dave Van Horn era at shortstop. So that just shows you how impressive he is. Little shout out to a former teammate, Bill Gunger, texted me. He goes, "Do you know who the other one was?" And I said, "No." He said, "Tim Smalling." I was like, okay. Gotta like that. But that says a lot about the talent of Brumbaugh because it's such a big focal point of the infield. It's almost kind of like your leader out there at shortstop. But You can tell he's definitely a special player.
The 1-1. Fouled off at the plate, so it's 1-2. Yeah, I mean, that shortstop position, like, not only do they really cover the most ground out of anybody that's not an outfielder specifically, but it sort of rivals what the outfielders do because they're also responsible for a lot out there, especially with the outfield playing deep like they are today.
Yeah, a lot of times, especially the younger you are, some of the most athletic players on the team are that shortstop.
This is high and outside to even it up at 2-2. Not only that, but then you have the relays that they're in charge. You know, their cuts or double cuts for, and covering the bag at second, or if so, you know, if the third baseman's crashing in and someone's on second base, they got to beat a third and all that. It's wild how much ground they can cover. 2-2 fought off into the netting over the Razorbacks dugout.
Again, great job right there by the hitter, Brumbaugh, and Joey Young, the pitcher. I mean, that's a great two-strike pitch. Again, these Xavier pitchers aren't afraid to throw up in the zone or in. See a lot of college pitchers, they don't want to challenge that hitter on the inside third of the plate.
2-2. Tried to hook that inside corner in front Durham, but just couldn't quite get it there, and so now we've got ourselves a full count with 2 outs. Brumbaugh back in from the right side. Young, the payoff. Swung on and missed. Elevated breaking ball for strike 3. And how about Joey Young strikes out the side here in the 5th inning. And it's a 1-2-3 frame.
Really good job by Joey Young. Kind of mixed things up. Elevated a breaking ball. I'm not sure if that's where he wanted it. Great success with that pitch.
It's a plenty between the two teams today, shaping up fairly similar. You've got Colin Fisher back on the mound. The lefty's got 8 punch outs in this one. And on the other side, you've got 7 for Xavier pitching so far, Troy.
Yeah, the pitching's been really good all weekend long, and Colin Fisher's been super efficient. I think that might have been pitch 53 or 54. About 39 strikes by Fisher.
Is that good?
That's pretty good. Well, I think anybody will take that. Matt Hobbs is probably pretty happy in that dugout.
0-1 to Mitchell Morton. This is to even it up at a ball and a strike. I'm sure, you know, especially with this game right now, that dugout's probably in pretty high spirits despite the cold weather.
Yeah, I think so.
A swing and a miss. And really, it's been throughout the lineup. You have Zach Stewart hitting in the 8-hole. He's got a pair of hits. That was something that Dave Van Horn mentioned in his press conference yesterday, was he really wants to see that bottom third of the lineup start to pick it up here as they get closer and deeper into the season.
Yeah, when you're going to go a long way, and again, Fisher just dotting a fastball in the inside corner. Really locked up Mitchell Morton right there. That is 4 Ks in a row in 7 out of the last 8 batters. Or 6 out of the last 7, excuse me. There's the fastball. That's a great job by Ryder Helfrich. Really framing that one up nicely.
J.D. Crisp goes after the first pitch for strike 1. And if you go back to the 4th inning, so he's got 9 total right now. If you go back to the 4th inning, 6 of them have come since that 4th inning.
That's pretty impressive.
You can see he's got a fly out and 6 ground outs as well. 0-1 gets a big swing and a miss, which can be a little that's a little bit different because normally if you have somebody that's a strikeout pitcher, a lot of times you see them, if the ball's in play, it's going to be in the air. 0-2 misses low and outside.
How about this stat for Colin Fisher? So your whip, a lot of people might not know, that's walks plus hits per inning. How about .39 right now? That's pretty salty.
Yeah, that is very good. There's a swing and a miss. Ball gets away from Helfrich. Crisp up to first, but the throw beats him there. That's a tough throw for Helfrich. No, they're saying safe now. That ball ended up on the right field line. Crisp is coming off the field.
No, I think maybe he was saying like just maybe no contact was maybe
okay.
the
like no interference or
no
something.
Interference.
Like that? Okay.
Now, this is one of the only times that the first baseman can use either base. And you see that Robinette was trying to come over and use that green base, but I think his toe actually caught the white part of the base. Almost surprised they're not doing a replay right here, review. I think each team gets a pair of plays they can challenge.
Billy O'Connor.
I think that's where you've got to rely on your first base coach to let you know. And I think Robinette's toe clearly was on there. But this is just to slow down Colin Fisher's momentum. Got some back-to-back strikeouts.
Well, Billy O'Connor had come out of the dugout and had a brief chat with Jonathan Fitz. Back to the top of the order in the DH, who's 0 for 2 so far, gets back up to the plate. And Fisher, unfazed, just dots it up there for strike one.
Have all the conferences you want. I'm good to go.
That's fouled back and into the netting behind home plate. Troy, I was going to touch on it there, but that throw can't be understated as a catcher to go back behind the hitter's circle and have to throw back over a fast base runner to first. You're in a good spot that Robinette is so tall over there. There's ground ball to second, and Kojal over to first with it. No problems there. 4-3 on the putout. A 1-2-3 inning for Fisher, who's piled up 10 punch-outs in this one so far. It's 7-0 Razorbacks. Hooker has come into the game. The junior at 6 foot 295 pounds takes the hill as we get into the bottom half of the sixth.
I tell you what, I think you've got to be at least 6'2" to pitch for the Musketeers here at Xavier, because all their guys are 6'2" and above. You're going to see Hooker throw just a 2-pitch mix guy. He'll throw the fastball, upper 80s, low 90s, might touch 92. Then he'll throw a slider as well. And you think that any time you talk about more of like a 92 type of mile-an-hour pitcher, like those guys that throw a little harder like to throw the slider a little bit more than the true curveball.
Well, we'll get a look at him here and see. It looks like a pretty live arm out there on the mound as he throws it. He puts a lot of effort behind it, but he's going to face the top of the lineup here. So Micah New is on his way up to the plate. He's 1 for 3 today so far, but it's a 7-0 Razorbacks lead. And during the break, Troy, you and I were talking, not for nothing, Colin Fisher is one properly placed glove away from not allowing that one hit that was
that's right. That was the base hit was right back off his body and kind of ricocheted towards second, and Kojal just was playing a little too deep, but really not a lot of contact by the Musketeers against Colin Fisher today. I think that's more about the kind of game Colin Fisher's throwing. That's a pitch clock violation.
Sure is. It was a little bit strange before he started the inning. He was on the rubber. It looked like he stepped off there for a moment, and I don't know if that was predetermined for him based off of what he saw, but got back on the hill and then got the pitch clock violations. The first one gets floated in the air down the right field side over the dugout and into the seats.
Like how Stanhouse went right to the railing again with this win. You just never know what's going to happen. Don't give up on anything, especially on it's not your home field. Don't really kind of know how much foul ground there is.
They're wiser to it now than they were Friday. And this is, by all accounts, everything that I've looked at, this is the first time these two teams have played each other.
I believe so. About 92 and 91 out of the right hand of Jake Hooker. He's coming out just not messing around. Here's the fastball. Can you hit it, Micah New?
Breaking ball, and this is down and away. So it's 3-1. New back in. Hooker's ready. 3-1. Swing and a miss. It's 3-2.
Really good sink on that fastball right there by Jake Hooker. No, we talked about the velocity, but again, it's more about what you can do with that baseball. Can you get it to move? And
the payoff pitch cut on and missed, and that's strike 3. So Hooker comes in and he picks up what Jake Young did the last half inning. He struck out the side there. Hooker adds a 4th straight strikeout for the Arkansas lineup, and we'll get Nolan Sousa back up to the plate, who's 1 for 2 with a walk.
Yeah, up and in, just a pitch that not really a strike, but that's one that's tough to take with 2 strikes. I like the approach of these Musketeer pitchers. Again, looking to get strikeouts up in the zone and not afraid to throw in, up and in.
It's an aggressive approach,
It really is,
for sure. I mean, especially if you're going breaking balls away. As a hitter, how often are you going to look fastball there, Troy?
Yeah, you almost have to give up. With 2 strikes, you kind of have to commit to the off-speed pitch, and you try to see if you can get a piece of it, but that's why that fastball up in the zone is so successful and so tough to hit, because your mindset's like, okay, I gotta stay back for something off speed.
And at the same time, you're hoping that you get something to
That's
drive, but especially with some of the velocity differences between the fastballs and the changeups and the curveballs that we've seen this weekend, that can be really tough to stay back because you got to catch up.
Yeah, I think so. And kind of that magical number, anytime you see about a 10-mile-an-hour difference, that's when it really gets tough for those hitters. When the fastballs and something off speed is, you got a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, something around 80, 81.
It's incredible now the work that they do as far as pitch design and things like that, because you can take a guy that maybe has a curveball that he's thrown 79 and this ball is tagged into left field fairly deep. Mensick going back at the track, and he makes the catch, just going onto it for the second out. Yeah, pretty good swing there from Souza, but the harder they throw it, yes, the less big the break is going to be.
Right.
But that movement makes it really tough to be able to actually hit it.
Yeah, that with the technology and TrackMan, Rapsodo, whatever machinery you're using, but it's so good because you sit there and go, hey, your breaking ball, your curveball is better at 76 than it is at 78.
Helfrich deep to left again. Does it have enough? Crisp is there. He reaches up against the wall, waiting for a signal, and he makes the grab. An outstanding catch in left center. Crisp putting it all on the line up against the wall.
Boy, Ryder Helfrich put a charge into that one, got it up in the jet stream. You could even hear up here in the booth of J.D. Crisp as he crashes in the wall. Off the bat, you thought, okay, is it going to have enough backspin? Crisp gets there right on the track and hits the wall as he makes the catch.
On 6 innings, very economical at 63 pitches, but the big number there, obviously the one hit, the no earned runs, but the 10 strikeouts so far today certainly stands. That's the most for a Razorbacks pitcher this season so far. So Fisher ready to take on Eddie Peters. And he smashes it into the netting on the right side. When you look back at the day that Fisher's had so far, or the last 2 innings, so the 5th and the 6th, he's put together 5 strikeouts and got off to sort of a slow-ish start, if you want to say that. He had 1 in each of the first 3 innings. He also gave up a hit during that second frame. 1. That's fouled away into the netting behind home plate. Meanwhile, you've got Peters up there at the plate, 0 for 2. He is once a strikeout victim. That was back in the 4th inning to start things off. He's also grounded out to short so far today. And now we've got our home plate umpire, which is Ben Levin, going back there and getting some fresh baseballs. But, Troy, this has been quite the game for Fisher. We just took a look at the numbers with the 10 punch-outs and the no runs and the hit. What have you seen from maybe more of a technical side that he's doing to help him have this success, again, against the Xavier team that we've talked about is, pretty good with the bats?
Yeah, I just think his ability to throw all his pitches in the zone.
The fly ball to left field. Stewart's there, and he reaches up to make the catch on a little bit of a leap.
Probably one of the hardest balls hit by the Musketeers right there. That ball was squared up. Fisher got that one up in the zone. But, yeah, I think he's really throwing the breaking ball and the fastball. He's really spotting it anywhere he wants to throw that ball. He's having a lot of consistency with it.
Fisher waiting for his fielders to get back to where they need to be, and they've actually put a little bit of a shift on here for Josh Stonehouse, who hits a cue shot to short. That's the third baseman, Poppy, over there, who lets loose a crazy throw, and it's in time. It looked like he got everything behind it to get it there.
That was hit right off the cap. You can see that ball got to Carson Brumbaugh, and then he flipped it out into the dugout. He's like, nope, this one doesn't need to be in the play anymore. But, yeah, That one had a lot of spin on it, and that was a really tough play. Like you said, Pompey threw an absolute dart across the diamond. I would love to see the gun on that one, how hard he threw that baseball.
And Mensick takes a strike to get things rolling here. Top of the 7th inning, 7-0 the lead for the Razorbacks. Tried for the outside part of the plate and missed wide. Mensick 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts so far today. Came in hitting .269. That slid back to .250 now. Oh, misses low and away, but he does have the power on his side. He's got 3 home runs so far this season, so he's one swing away from getting Xavier on the board here.
Yeah, saw him hit one opposite field in the very first game that Xavier had against East Carolina.
Buried at 2-1. It's a 3-1 count with 2 outs now.
Talked about how good Fisher's control and how many strikes he's thrown. It looks like this inning he's kind of scuffled just a little bit more with control than he has in the previous innings.
There's a bouncer left side again. That time the third baseman, Pompey, cuts it off, gets it to first, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for Colin Fisher, who's completed 7. He's got 10 strikeouts, and the Razorbacks have a 7-0 lead. Line, I mean bullpen. 6'7" Trevor Geddes comes out, and well, that ball is going to be on the hitters pretty quick here, Troy.
It really is, and you talk about that. What a great basketball team Xavier's had over the years, and they might want to take a look at this boy, Trevor Geddes. He's going to be in the upper 80s with that fastball. Throws a slider as well. No curve or changeup by the big left-hander, and they kind of have the saying he kind of throws 3/4 arm, so it's kind of cross-firing when he's that tall. Those left-hand batters are really going to keep that front shoulder in, hitting against him, because it's going to look like it's going to start behind them and then end up in the strike zone.
Well, those tall left-handers with the weird arm slots have had some success, especially at the highest level. You think about, I don't know, I think there was a guy that had a really basic name.
Yeah, Randy Johnson was pretty good.
Yeah, he was pretty good. It worked out for him just fine. So we'll see how the ball gets on these Arkansas hitters as Geddes takes over for Jake Hooker, who pitched very well in this game. He had the punch out in the 6th inning to kind of get things rolling off there. And now we go to the bottom of the 7th. Geddes deals. Bunt first base side, but the first baseman Stonehouse is there. He waits on the line and tags out Kojal before he gets to the bag. 1 away.
Yeah, that was a play that Kojal's thought process right there was to bunt it right where normally the second baseman plays. He just bunted it too far down the first base line, and I don't think Camden wanted any part of trying to run over John Stonehouse. I think he would have lost that one. That would have been like hitting a brick wall.
Or a Stonehouse.
Yeah,
it's a very apropos name for him. He is a big guy. Here's the pitch. That's a hard hit ground ball over the mound to second, but Thomas is there. He gets it to first, and that's in time. Brings up Reese Robinette. Maybe when guys like that play first base, maybe instead of calling them first basemen, we call them protectors or something like that. I mean, that is, yeah, I'm pretty big myself, and I'm probably pulling up. Granted, I'm 37, but I'm pulling up
You're not going to make any contact,
No,
right?
I'm not making any contact. If I walk out of that unscathed, I'm in a good spot.
How about Trevor Geddes? He's really coming in there, throwing strikes, pitching to contact.
Yeah, I mean, you get the bunt, not afraid to let him get that bunt down on the first base side. That's it. I mean, how important is it for these pitchers to have faith in their defense behind them? I mean, they have done nothing this series except for show that Xavier's a good defensive ball club. There's a bouncer hit to a deep second base. Thomas gets it, throws to first, and it's not in time. Hustle out of Reese Robinette gets him a single here with 2 outs in the 7th.
Oh, I know. Don't you know that Reese Robinette's going to go back to the dugout going, hey, I got an infield hit. And so long range for Thomas having to go through. He did all he really could with that play. He was swung around more to the pull side. And, again, just one of those seeing eye singles by Reese Robinette. See a lot of good things about Reese Robinette. I don't think that foot speed is on his top 10 list of skill sets.
There's another guy. Stride length is probably up there, but
Yeah.
He's got those long, long legs, but then you get TJ Pompey up there. And Pompey 0 for 3 so far today. Facing a left-hander for the first time this afternoon. It was all righties to get things started for Xavier. And a swing and a miss puts him in a 1-1 count. You had Deteen who came in. He went 3 1/3. Give up 9 of the 11 hits that we've seen so far in this game. Young came in, scoreless 1 2/3, gave up a hit with 3 strikeouts, and then Hooker, we mentioned the inning of work with a punch-out. And that one misses just off the plate. And it goes back to what you were saying before, is that they really have to get the starters going deeper into the games and getting more, being able to get more outs, because from the last 2 days, what we've seen from the bullpen, that's going to be a very formidable bullpen when they get into conference play.
Yeah, and they've got a lot of good arms there out of that bullpen. And, after this inning, this weekend, you only have one more weekend before the Mississippi State Bulldogs come into town. So you're going to blink your eyes, and Arkansas is going to be into conference play. And you really want to have those starters, would love to see them go 5, maybe 6 innings. And you normally can't get that deep unless you're ready to go, 90-plus pitches. Good at bat by TJ Pompey. Swung through the first one. He's really kind of laid off some borderline pitches by Geddes.
Right-handed hitter waits. It's a full count. And the pitch misses low. Robinette heads up to second. Pompey, a free pass. Just the second one of the game for Xavier pitching that they've issued. And now Zach Stewart, who's 2 for 3 with a homer and a single, about ready to go up before he gets a little bit of a chat over there in the on-deck circle.
That's probably what Nate Thompson's having a conversation with him about, is like, hey, this guy's throws kind of across his body. That ball's going to come out almost behind you. Try not to pull off of it and spin off of it. Try to keep that front shoulder closed and think kind of up the middle the other way.
So Stewart digs in. 2 outs. Runners at first and second. He's already had a good afternoon, but he'd love to make it a great afternoon here.
Yeah, he's got a chance to really get a lot of separation in this ball game.
And the first pitch is in for a strike. Starts him off 0-1. Geddes gets a bouncer foul on the right side. That was right down the running lane right there.
Yeah, I think that if Zach Stewart could have this at-bat all over again, I think he would have offered at that first fastball. It was not a bad pitch, but probably the best one he might see this whole at-bat. That was a fastball in the inner third right there.
0-2. Missed low and away. It was worth noting that Stewart represents the winning run right now. If he were to come home to score, and everybody else in front of him did as well.
Gets a hold of one right here. Well, the wind has not slowed down one bit. So, again, anything up in the jet stream's got a chance to get out of here.
The 1-2. Misses in the dirt. It's 2-2. As this count progresses here, Troy, you go from 1-2 to 2-2. What's the approach going back up to the plate, knowing that you've got some guys out there, but there are 2 outs?
Yeah, I think if you're Stewart, you still have to, anytime with 2 strikes, you kind of have to think up the middle, maybe even a little bit the other way.
2-2, swung on and missed, and that is the final out of the inning. A strikeout there, and, 2 left stranded after a hit, but it's still 7-0. We're headed into the top half of the 8th inning here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. This weekend, the last couple days, today has not quite been that. 7-0 Arkansas leads it, and we've had some really good efforts, especially on the pitching side of things today, Troy.
Yeah, Deteen threw pretty well, for the Musketeers. Again, their starting pitching's really good. You can see what Colin Fisher's done, just a slew of strikeouts, only 1 hit. And again, you'll wonder why is Colin Fisher back out on the hill again this inning? Well, Before the weekend started, I had a conversation with pitching coach Matt Hobbs for Arkansas, and he said, we really want to get our guys up to 90 pitches, our starters, if we can. And so that's why he's got one more inning. And then we talked about off camera, Sean, is Arkansas does have 2 midweek games against Arkansas State, so a lot of opportunities to get those other arms that you want to see some time, in those 18 innings.
Plus, I'm sure Fisher doesn't mind keeping the game he's got going,
he's
to
right
himself.
The position players love it, too, because he's doing nothing but throwing strikes.
I have not been on the field for a very long time just with that one hit. That one's looped toward left field. Zach Stewart making a break for it. He reaches up, slides, and makes the catch out there. Outstanding effort from the Razorbacks left fielder to pull in that first out of the inning.
Yeah, that's a great jump by Stewart. Again, any hesitation, he does not make that play. And the interesting thing for Zach Stewart is he's normally a right fielder, but you see the break right there. He's calling off Souza. He does a great job. Souza gets well out of his way. And again, it doesn't seem like much, but if you're not a baseball person, the ball spins and slices different ways from right field to left field. That's a tough read for him. Oh, heads up in the Musketeer dugout. Goodness.
Luke Hammond just pulled that one right into his own. Looks like everybody's all right. The good thing about baseball players being in the dugout, they are used to that. That happens a couple times a night for them.
What's really scary is, early on in Baum-Walker Stadium, they didn't have the netting in front of that dugout, so it was open. So balls around your knees, you might catch one in the knee if it comes down there pretty hot.
Fisher eyes up Hammond in a 1-1 count. That's another bouncing ball left side, a high hop, but the third baseman, Pompey, has it and gets it to first. And that's the second out of the inning. That's now 19 straight that Fisher has retired since Johnson's hit back in the second inning.
Yeah, he is just absolutely on a roll. And again, his ability to pitch ahead in the count, I'm not even sure. Has he maybe once or twice gotten to 3 balls in this ball game? He is just didn't do a very good job of first pitch strikes, but I'd like to see it. And then I just jinxed him right there. It's like this guy never misses a free throw. Boing.
That's what everything set up here affects the game. That's how it works.
Exactly right.
Here's the 1-0 to Thomas, and that misses high. So now he goes to 2-0. He hasn't fallen behind a ton of hitters today.
Yeah.
And when he has, he's been able to kind of claw back or get some contact that's been an out. But
looked like those last 2 pitches, he really kind of stood up, really didn't get out over that front knee very well. A little bit better job right there.
Every time he got that inside corner up in the zone against Thomas and turns it into a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Not only that, but turn to the bottom third of the order here, which is generally where a lot of pitchers will get aggressive. And there it is. Breaking ball gets in there for a strike. But just like that, Fisher has battled back into an even count. With 2 outs, the 2-2. Swing and a miss. 11 strikeouts for Colin Fisher. He's allowed 1 hit, and it's 7-0 Razorbacks. An unbelievable effort from the Razorback lefty. Asher DeLeo.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think this might be his first appearance of the season. Don't really have a scattering report on DeLeo. And another big-bodied right-hander, just a small guy going at 6'4".
That's
so
it.
Again, you got to be that 6'2" and north of that to pitch for the Musketeers. It's a long way to go traveling from Washington State to the Cincinnati area.
I don't know how there's room on planes and buses for all these guys. I mean, I'm not small. I ride on buses a lot. It's a tough trip, but I get 2 seats.
Okay.
I don't know how these guys are doing it because they're all long legs. Like, nobody's reclining seats on that thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, you have to have some props for the travel that this Xavier team makes. God, they've gone to Greenville, North Carolina. They played Louisville in a midweek game. Now they're coming back to Fayetteville to play Arkansas. Where do they go home to Cincinnati and then hit the road again?
Yep, they're home against Indiana on Tuesday for one game to open up their home schedule. By the way, it's supposed to be about 38 for their home opener there. And then next weekend, they go out to Cal State Fullerton. So that's a lot of travel early on in the season. Just get it out of the way, right?
Right. That's a lot of travel, and then it's just a lot of pressure on they're student athletes. They're still going to class, having to miss class. Usually athletes have to do everything beforehand. You don't get like a lot of grace for turning in assignments or taking tests after the fact.
0-1 to Brumbaugh. Misses inside. A little high and tight there from DeLeo and turns it into a 1-1 count. It's definitely impressive. And then you see, so many of these guys have academic honors and and all that sort of stuff. I mean, even when you're looking at Fisher, there's a breaking ball, misses low, but I mean he was 2025 spring academic honor roll.
Wow.
So I mean you're talking about a guy that's got 11 punch outs and has pitched, nearly flawless game.
Yeah, I think it goes back to just athletes and their discipline. You have to be disciplined to play at this level. And then you also, that carries over into the classroom as well. And, a lot of these programs have some great things like tutors and things like that, but you still have to take advantage of it.
Absolutely. I think sometimes it's tough because with the way that athletics are now, you do have to go to school to be a student. And, hopefully that one misses inside and pushes it to a 3-2 count. But, you have to walk that fine line between doing your best athletically because there could be some life-changing events that happen there.
Sure.
But at the same time, you have to prepare yourself for the rest of your life.
We were wondering if there was before this inning started, nobody throwing in the bullpen.
It's a bouncer left side of the mound, picked up at short. Peters gets it to first in time, and there's the out. Well, we do see somebody warming up now, Troy.
Yeah, finally. That was a really nice backhanded play. A lot of times you don't really see shortstops coming in there and have to turn that glove over and get a backhand, and Peters made that play look pretty easy.
We talked about it earlier, but defensively, Xavier has looked very solid throughout the weekend here.
And this is a club that they really did not even get outside, all early spring. They had some boosters that came in and were donated for them to go down to IMG Academy down in Florida and to get some fly balls, ground balls, and Arkansas is going to bring up Christian Turner, a pinch hitter in this situation.
Yeah, freshman, 6 feet tall, 180 pounds. Got into the game later yesterday as well. Had a knock in that one. That gets in for a strike on him. And, Dave Van Horn was saying that as far as speed goes, the trade-off is not significant between Ruiz and Turner when he came into the game for Ruiz yesterday.
Yeah, Turner can really go. I think he's about a 6'4", 60 guy.
Swings through that pitch, and it's a 1-2-3 strikeout. And that's the second out of the inning to bring up Nolan Souza.
Yeah, really good job by Asher DeLeo. Really took care of business with Christian Turner.
Oh, and that's the 10th strikeout on the other side. So we're up to 21 strikeouts in this game. And that breaking ball misses low and away. What's that, 45 between the 2 days? Right, 24 yesterday.
That's a lot.
That's
yes,
a
sir.
lot.
I think that's what we got. I think that's left-hander down the bullpen for Arkansas. That's Joey Lorenzini. Matt Hobbs said he really wanted to get him in this weekend.
Hard hit ball right side, just gets past Thomas at second and into right field. Souza with his second hit of the day. He gets a runner aboard with 2 outs for Ryder Helfrich, who went deep back in the 4th inning. He's got an RBI double to his credit. And, oh, by the way, he missed a homer his last time up by a couple of feet.
Yeah, he took J.D. Crisp all the way back as he crashed in the wall to make the 3rd out of that inning. We've got another pinch hitter right here, Carter Rutenbar, the freshman left-hander. Rutenbar had some playing time at Globe Life Field.
First pitch to him. This is down and in. Souza will stay put. That's a good block there by Morton, the backstop. It's a freshman, 5'11", 195 pounds.
Got him in that Dallas, Texas area out of Midlothian. Kind of a guy that's got a fast engine.
And that one just clips the outside edge. Rutenbar already with his first hit on the season. That one comes in a little bit tight to the left-hander. Pulls those hands in nice and close. It's a 2-1 count to him now.
Nolan Souza over first base, even though he's got some good speed. He's got a very cautious lead over there at the 7-run lead. You're not going to see him going anywhere.
He fouls that pitch off.
Talked about that Rutenbar's motor. He's just one of those guys, those catchers are kind of wound a little tight, aren't they? They always kind of have that motor running hot.
You almost have to.
I think you do.
And misses high. We talked about the ground that shortstops have to cover. Catchers are involved in every single actionable play.
That's right.
Of the game on their side. And not only that, but some of these catchers are going to be calling the games like you talked about earlier. Some of these catchers are going to be looking into the dugout to find out what the sign is and relay it. And that pitch misses high. That's ball 4. Souza moves into second. Rutenbar to first. And Kojal back up to the plate here in the 8th inning. So he represents that 10th run of the game again.
Well, if anybody can take one out of the park, that's Camden Kojal. Definitely shown that ability to pull the ball over the right field wall or shoot it in left center field gap.
He's got 5 hits over the last 2 days between today and yesterday.
Pretty good series.
That's not bad. Yeah, it's a good series, and that was just
in those 2 games.
It was a game and a fraction of a game.
That's right.
Of course, had the cycle in yesterday's game. He's gotten the average up to 360 so far. We mentioned he scored 11 runs already this season.
My 2 big stats are runs scored as a batter and RBIs.
The bouncing ball back up the middle, off the glove of Thomas and rolls into center. Souza on his way home. There's no throw, and it's 8-0 as Kojal gets the bat on the ball, and good things happen again.
Well, 2 outs, you know that Souza's going to be off with the crack of the bat, and just kind of a good seeing eye single right there. Thomas did all he could do to try to backhand this, see how far he's played over the pull side, knocked it down. That keeps Rutenbar at second base. Souza scores easily, no throw. Camden Kojal just continues to swing a hot bat.
Now it's Kahil Aloy's turn. He, of course, won the game for the Razorbacks yesterday. And he steps in here in the 8th inning with runners at first and second. And now we'll get a visit as Mitchell Morton, the backstop, heads out to the mound to have a quick chat with DeLeo. Well, Razorbacks got out to an early lead, 3 runs in the opening frame. Was on 4 hits during that inning. Then they came back for more in the second. This time it was Zach Stewart with a homer to make it 4-0 at the time. And then the fifth run of the game came home on Ryder Helfrich's double.
I think that visit by Morton was kind of twofold. He was able to kind of slow the heartbeat of his pitcher down and also make sure that they're on the same pace for signs with the runner at second base.
Well, he takes the first that pitch right there low, and it's in for a strike. It's a 1-1 count with 2 outs. DeLeo, the right-hander, set. The 1-1. Aloy gets into one high in the air to deep center field. Crisp going back at the track, off the wall. It's gone. A massive home run off the bat of Kahil Aloy, and he's done it for 2 straight days. A walk-off homer to run rule Xavier, and it's a series sweep for the Hogs.
Just a big fly by Kahil Aloy, and it's got the Razorback faithful excited. Again, tremendous power, kind of Mr. RBI for Arkansas. When that ball left the bat, you're like, okay, I know that's got the distance. 423-foot home run, 106 off the bat of Kahil Aloy. When he hit that ball, he knew he got it. Look, he's going to hold that bat for a while. He's going to take it down the first base line with him. It's like, okay, I think you're supposed to drop it a little sooner, Kahil, but he had a little style and flair with that last home run. Look how high up on the batter's eye this thing hits. It hits about 2/3 of the way up the batter's eye.
Didn't miss the camera well by very much
No,
out there. That's the second straight day that Kahil Aloy has ended a game out here at Baum Walker, and that one big one, a big fly. Troy, as we take a look, and what are your final thoughts about today and really the series?
Yeah, that's a really good weekend series for Arkansas. Again, this Xavier team, I really like the way they pitch the ball. When they get those 3 key hitters back, they're going to be a really, really tough team. I think you're going to look later on this season, they're going to make a really good run in the Big East to try to take that conference championship. So great quality win. Outstanding job by Colin Fisher, just completely filled up the strike zone.
11-0 the final score. Hogs get it done in 8 innings today. And, well, Razorbacks improve to 6-1 on the season, while the Musketeers are 2-4. And Troy, just an outstanding weekend here. Thanks so much for Troy Eklund. I'm Sean Mernon. Thanks so much for joining us today.